Alright, so in this algorithm exercise, we're gonna find out the maximum value and the minimum value of a list using Python. So as you have seen in the screen, we have a list there. So a list of elements, in this case, a list of numbers. So we gotta denote the list 1. So this one gonna be 9, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 1, 0, 2.3, 3.14, minus 2.3, 9.999, and 10. So we're gonna have to find out, we have to find a program to figure out what is the biggest value, which is the maximum of the list, and also the minimum value. So in Python, we have the built-in max function and the built-in min function. So we're going to use the function to find out the value of the list. So, but first of all, let's make an equal sign. In order, we should create the variable first. So we want to call the max value of that we want to find is max value. So remember not to use any reserved word like max, min, average, or sum to name the variable, because that's gonna be return error. So max, and we're gonna pass in the data set that we want to find the max value. So in this case, this one, and we want to do the same thing with the mean, right? So yeah, mean value, and we're gonna change the function to mean. Now the two results, max and mean, has been stored into variables max value and mean value respectively. So the max value gonna contain the max of the list, and the mean value variable gonna contains the mean value of the list. So now we can print down max value and also mean value. Alright, so okay, so I think this program is already ready to go, but I want to make a prompt as well, because, well, you know, we also have to make the readers, the user of the program, understand what we are doing. So I'm gonna make a prompt like the maximum of the list is okay, and similarly the minimum of the list is. Alright, alright, so let's save our program. Okay, there could be some error here, it's not runnable. Okay, so as you can see, we have been able to run the program, and we have returned the max value is actually 10, and the mean value is negative 2.3. Alright, but now I want to apply an algorithm to solve this problem. As you have seen here, this is that we are using a built-in function of Python, which is the max function here and the mean function here. So we can find out the max and the mean pretty easily. However, if we're gonna keep using the built-in function like this, we are not gonna understand the algorithms that actually generate these results. So in this trial, we're gonna actually try to figure out the algorithms. Okay, right. So to understand how the computer actually find out the max value and the mean value. So the print gonna be the same. So now I'm gonna do it for the max value first. Max value, okay? Max value. Okay. So here's how we're gonna approach this problem. We have to find the max value of the list, right? But first example, now we don't know what is the max value of the list is. We have no idea. But we also know that the computer can do comparison, do recursion comparison, which means it can loop through the list. The computer can loop through the list and it can compare. So if we make each loop a comparisons exercise for the computer, it will be able to do it. Okay, so we know that the computer can do that. It can loop through the list and it can do comparison. So we have to find a strategy that we can teach the computer to find the max of the list. So okay, so we don't know the max of the list is, so let's make an assumption. We're gonna make the first value of the list the max, right? So list 0 because list 1 number 0 because that's how Python index it. It starts with 1 and with 0. So without we assume the first elements of the list is the max. So now we want to compare every other elements with the list 1 number 0 with the first element, and then if that after element is actually bigger than the first, then the max value gonna change to that after elements. Otherwise it's gonna stay the same, right? Because of course if you are bigger than the max, you add the new max value, right? So we're gonna loop like that and we're gonna compare each other elements inside the list to the initial max value, and we're gonna find out the new max, because if the following numbers is actually greater than the denoted, the designated value, then we're gonna replace the new number as the max value, because it makes sense, right? If bigger than the old max value, it's gonna be the new max value. So let's do it. So what we want to loop on? So for loop we're gonna use a for I in range. Okay, so we want to loop through the list. So range 1 2, because we're gonna loop through element 1, right? 1 2 and in range it's gonna stop one index before it got in range function. It's gonna stop one index before the end, the designated end. So we actually have to put in length of list 1 plus 1. Okay, if list 1 number I is bigger than max value. Now if we found element that actually bigger than the designated max value, we're gonna make that new element the max value. Okay, so max value gonna be equal to this one number I. Okay, and then we're gonna print out the max value. Okay, so let's see if it returns us with 10. Okay, we have an error here. List index out of range. And okay, there must be some error here. What is our error? Okay, so let's check. Okay, so we have made some mistake here. So list on, because we indexing from 0, we actually have 11 element. We have, so len list 1 is actually 11, and the index gonna be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 from 0 to 10. Alright, so we want to loop from 1 to 10. So it's actually minus 1 in this case here, right? Because 11 minus 1 is 10. So let's check. Alright, it's actually given 99999, which is wrong. Yeah, so this is actually, so it's actually len list 1 gonna give it 11. Okay, but this thing gonna stop 1 before the ending, so it gonna stop at 10. It gonna stop at 10. So actually I gonna be from 1 to 10, so this had to be this. So yeah, it's given 10 already, which is right. Okay, so because it's len list 1, because the indexing start from 0, the indexing start from 0, so we want to loop, because the len is 11, and but we want to loop from 1 to 10. So it's actually, it gonna stop one element before the end. What is the designated end? So Python gonna stop at index n minus 1, and they gonna, and n we have to designated it, which is, and in this case it's actually the len of this one here. So because len of this one is, the length of this one is 11, so it is actually gonna stop at the a 10. So gonna loop through from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 and to 10, and after 10 it's gonna stop, no more. Okay, so in this case we actually find out it is 10, which is true, and the same algorithm can be applied to find out the minimum value. Okay, so same thing. So if you just change the algorithm to mean, and we set still list on number 0 is the minimum value, and same loop, but you're gonna change the sign, right, and the variable name. That's all, because we have to change it that way, and because the minimum value is actually how do you call, reflective, or actually corresponding to the max function, but you just have to change the sign, the variable names, so you can print, right? So we want the first line to be 10, and we want the second line to be minus 2.3. So let's see. So here is the mean value. Okay, sorry, a typo. Okay, so minus 2.3, which is very good. So algorithm is true. Okay. Okay. So now I want to make another, this one a little bit more say good, improve, is that I want to find not the max value. We're gonna keep still the list one. We don't want to find the max value, but I want to find the second biggest number, which is the element that is right after the max value. Okay, so how we gonna do that? So find the second biggest number of a list. Okay, second biggest number. Alright, So we have to think of an algorithm to actually find out. We know that the max is 10, right here. But now we don't want to find the max. We want to find the second biggest number inside this. Here I want to simplify the problem. We are not talking about duplicate here. So most of the value are unique, and actually all the value in this problem are actually unique. So we are not talking about duplicate here. So we want to find the second largest number, right? So we have to think of an algorithm for that. Okay, so in this case here, we know that our answer is 10 because that's quite obvious, right? However, so we also know that the second biggest is 9.9. Alright, so let's observe. So if now we can remove 10 from this list, then 9.9 gonna be that biggest number. Don't be the biggest number actually. So then we can actually call out 9.9 as the biggest number of the new list after we have removed 10, right? So we can think about a strategy is that we're gonna find the biggest number of the list, remove it, and then we gonna call out the biggest number of the remaining list, which gonna be in turn the second biggest number of the original list. Okay, so that's gonna be the strategy. So we're gonna remove the biggest number of the list, and then we're gonna call out the biggest number of the new list, because then it is actually the second biggest number of the old list. I want to repeat. So let's implement it. So first of all, we will still want to call out the max value. So max value is still max because we have actually know how to find out the max value. I'm not gonna repeat that algorithm, so I'm just gonna denote it this way. Okay, so we're gonna remove it. So we're gonna use a remove function. Remove max value. Okay, and now this one is new, right? So now we can denote another second we can now create another variable, second biggest. So second biggest now is actually again the max of the new list one, right? New list one. So because we have actually removed the old max value, so the second biggest gonna be the max of the new list one, right? And we can print it out, print second biggest. Okay, and we can make a prompt. The second biggest number of the list is okay, and we actually hope to find out that is 9.9999. And let's see, so it's actually 9.9.999. So this algorithm is actually correct. So I think that's over today. Thank you very much for listening. See you in the next episode. Thank you very much.